Hello friends, Jay Todd coming to you from the fabulous Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here's what's happening this week in gambling. Hello friends, and welcome to This Week in Gambling. There's a new federal bill making headlines, one that has the potential to change sports betting in America. And that is this week's big story. Ever since the Supreme Court's decision in May of 2018, sports betting regulation has spread across America. But just like everything else under the sun, the federal government can't seem to keep their damn hands off it. Originally, the feds had this whole sports betting prohibition thing all locked up with their bullshit laws, but the High Court threw it out because it violated a little thing called the 10th Amendment. Not to let something minor like the U.S. Constitution stand in their way, some in the government had been looking for ways to stop sports betting. People like Orrin Hatch, former senator from the state of Utah. Utah? Well, there's a red flag. Utah doesn't approve of gambling. But then again, Utah doesn't really approve of anything remotely associated with fun. Last year, Hatch proposed this candy-assed bill which would have blocked sports betting and forced the states to ask permission from the Department of Justice if they wanted to regulate it. Now that former Utah Senator Hatch has retired, new Utah Senator Mitt Romney, yes, that Mitt Romney, has picked up the sports betting legislation gauntlet, so to speak, and brought the bill back. Although it's not quite the same bill. The Sports Wagering Market Integrity Act is being pushed by Romney, along with New York Senator Chuck Schumer, as a way to establish a federal framework for sports betting in America. What the hell is a federal framework? Basically, we're at this point where they realize they cannot stop sports betting, but hey, maybe they can control sports betting. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about this federal framework, what this bill proposes to do, and what the U.S. Supreme Court thinks about it.
This week's special promotion is for the CampoBet Casino. You can find exclusive offers at Casino City for CampoBet and hundreds of other sites. Simply visit online.casinocity.com for details.
As I mentioned before the break, this resurrected bill wants to establish a federal framework for sports betting regulation in America. Basically, this federal framework is a minimum set of standards set by the government that all states regulating sports betting must follow. Several years ago, I actually spoke to the American Gaming Association about a similar scenario involving online gambling. At that time, they were in favor of a federal set of minimum standards as opposed to what they called state-by-state patchwork regulation. I've linked to that interview below this video. This bill will allow in-play betting and it has no integrity fees. But, and this is a Kardashian-sized but, it might just block betting on college games. Also realize this, that when the Supreme Court reached their decision, they said that while a ban on sports betting was unconstitutional, a federal law governing sports betting was perfectly fine. So, there you go. Right now, one thing seems clear, my friends, and that is that with the exception of college sports, this resurrected bill will do nothing to stop the expansion of sports betting in America. And who knows, by setting a minimum standard which states have to follow, it might actually end up helping to facilitate the expansion of sports betting in America.
Always after me, Lucky Charms.